Let's talk about how to prepare your devotion. Through which channel? In order to prepare a relevant devotion, it will help you to answer the following questions. What do you want to talk about, or what do you want to share? What do the audience need to learn, or what do they need to take away from your devotion? Why do they need to learn about it? What change do we want to invoke in the audience? And why do they need to make that change? What method of delivery should we use? Should we have a presentation, a video, a skit, a story, some music? And what is the main idea? How can you summarize the key thought in one sentence? Students should be able to remember the main idea. This needs to be a sentence or a phrase that is short and memorable and that will express everything you're trying to share. Try to use the main idea repeatedly in the devotion so that people remember it. There are 2 devotion structures that we recommend using to prepare a clear and concise fusion talk. Of course, you don't have to stick to these structures, but they do work well in helping you to come up with a good form so your talk is not too chaotic. Structure number 1 starts with an introduction that should last for about 2 minutes. This could be a story, a joke, a question, something that gets the audience's attention. Next, you want to have a bridge to the main thought or main point. This part should last 5 to 7 minutes, and this is the section in which you might go a little deeper or possibly share a Bible verse. Lastly, you need to create a bridge to the conclusion, during which you might offer a concrete challenge or a next step. The conclusion should be 1 or 2 minutes long. Pretty simple, right? Structure number 2 has 5 parts that go like this: me, you, God, you, we. You start with me, basically sharing a personal story. Young people these days are so interested in stories. They want to know more about others, what they have experienced, and what problems they have. The next section is you, talking about the audience. Basically, you're giving examples of how your story speaks to a theme that is also relevant for the students, your fusion audience. Share examples of when this topic applies to others. The goal is to draw the audience into the issue and to give them space to reflect on the topic on a personal level and maybe to even raise questions in their own minds that we can answer later. Describe how the audience may experience the issue in their own context, for example, in their family, at school. The third section is God. Now we're going to share what God or the Bible says about this particular issue or topic. Here we want to share a Christian perspective. And the Bible can be used as long as you introduce it and explain it well, remembering that at least a percentage of your audience is not believers. The main thought should be said here at least twice. Remember, you need to repeat it. The fourth section goes back to you, the audience. Here we share an application and specific steps. This is where you can describe practical and specific solutions to the situations or issues you are addressing in your devotion. You can share how we should respond, what to do, what you can change, what to take away from it. It's good to use the main thought here, again, at least once or twice. And the fifth and last section is we, or us, the big picture. What would it look like if everyone applied the application? Describe what it would look like if the biblical principle in question was actually applied by every person in your fusion, or you can use the example of the whole world or in your community. Show people that even though the application in an individual might seem like a small thing, if everyone did it, the world would be a better place. Finally, of course, revisit the main thought.